What is up guys, and welcome back to SP Vids. In today's video there's a brand new update for the SP404 and it's a big one. It's version 2.0 and I have this installed on my machine. If you need to know how to update your SP, I'll leave a link in the top right hand corner. I've done a video about that already. This was exactly the same process. It was super easy to install. And I just want to say a shout out to Roland for sending this over early. I obviously again wasn't allowed to say anything about this update as they want to release it today, and yeah, it's given me a chance to have a look at it and figure stuff out. So a huge thanks to PJ and the team over at Roland. I really do appreciate you A, sending me this unit in the first place, and B, keeping me up to date with everything that's going on in the SP world. So what I've decided to do for this one is choose my favorite updates from version 2.0. I don't want to go through and do every single thing because some things are really complicated and need their own videos, so I'll drip feed the stuff on that's been updated. In this one I've handpicked my favorite stuff and I'm going to demonstrate it all to you. And if you want to skip to anything, I'll leave the markers in as well so you can do that, so you can go exactly to the sections that you want to look at. Or if not, just sit down, grab yourself a stiff drink or a tea or a coffee, and yeah, you can sit through this with me and we can go through all this. So the first one is brand new effects and kind of a new way of navigating the effects as well, because we now have 3 pages worth of effects. So if we go to MFX, that's how we get to the first page, and you can see in the top right hand corner it says 1 of 3. So you should know that basically if you hold this MFX, then you can choose the MFX you want with the 1 to 16 keypad. If you want to go to the second page, you hold both at the same time. You hold both MFX and DJ effects looper and you can cycle through page 2. Now because there's page 3, you have to hit MFX and isolator, and that takes you through to these new effects. We've got SX reverb, SX delay, cloud delay, and backspin as well. So I'm going to demonstrate these all to you. Let's go ahead first and choose a chop. And let's put that SX reverb on this one. I think that sounds really, really nice. Let's see if we can play around with the effects a little bit. So really, really nice reverb we've got there. Let's head over to delay. And these options we've got are the time, the feedback, and the balance. So another really nice one. Let's go to the third one, which is cloud delay. And this one gives me real Radiohead vibes for some reason. I'm sure I've heard something very similar in a Radiohead track before. How crazy is that effect? We've got these options of window, pitch, and balance. So let's have a play around and see what we can do with this. Some real crazy stuff going on there. Sounds like something from Kid A, I'm sure that I've heard that kind of effect before. And we've got finally backspin. Now I think this sounds very similar to stopper, but it's still quite a fun little effect anyway. You've got the length, you can change the speed, and I'm not sure what back SW stands for, but I guess that means backspin. I'm not sure on that one, but that kind of controls the on and off like DJ effects looper. So let's listen to what this sounds like. So we get some kind of interesting effects with that. I think that's kind of fiddly to get results out of. Maybe the samples need to be a bit longer. And there's this, there's kind of this thing which says charging when you put it on, when you put the effect on. It's not saying it now. So I need to experiment a little bit more with that to see what sounds I can get. Maybe longer samples will be better. I think what it's trying to simulate is spinning a vinyl backwards. I can't really get a good sound out of that at the moment. Probably need to experiment with it a little bit more. But it's definitely an interesting effect, and I'm sure you guys, once you get hold of this, will be able to find some really good uses for it. So there are all the new effects. So moving on, they've added some new pitch and speed settings. So if we choose this sample again, and we go pitch and speed, you can see in the bottom corner now, if we press shift, so there's 2 modes, there's vinyl mode and there's not vinyl mode, basically on or off. So if you choose no for vinyl mode and have it as off, you can choose between these 2 modes. So it's ensemble and backing. And basically what the instructions say about this is that backing is suitable for instruments with a more distinct attack like drums, percussion, like vamping guitars and things like that. Ensemble, it says that's more useful for sustained instruments, and it says especially suited for smooth tone changes, e.g. string and bass. So let's have a little play around on this sample. This might not be the ideal sample for this. So this is with ensemble. That's doing a pretty good job of down pitching it and keeping the tempo. Adds kind of a nice, interesting effect. It's got a little bit of character to it. It's not completely clean, which I quite like. You don't really want much clean stuff on an SP. That's the reason why you buy it. So I quite like the way that ensemble does that. Let's try backing. So there's quite a few artifacts on that. Maybe that'll be better with some drums. Maybe we could try it on these drums instead. And again, there you go, on quite a sharp sound. That's doing quite a good job of repitching that too. So there's plenty to be playing around with pitching now. We've got vinyl mode off or on, which gives you different effects. And then when you don't have vinyl on, you've got the two different effects inside as well. So that's a really, really interesting update. And you can hear there from the results that was doing a pretty good job of repitching things. And we really have progressed with pitching since the SX on this device. I think there's a lot to be said for the pitching now on this. Really does do a good job. Okay, one thing that we were crying out for, I really wanted this as well, and luckily it's come in this update, is that you can now add envelopes to a whole mute group at the same time. This is going to save me so much time. So if you just want those little fades on the start of your samples, it really does help to clean things up. You can do them all in one go. Okay, so I've got these all in a mute group. And we're going to go ahead and go into shift and pitch and speed, which is envelope. And I'm going to hold down copy, and now you can see it says to mute group, and we can change the attack. So I'm just going to really make this crazy so you guys can definitely hear. So let's set it to like 40. So that's on 40 now, and we can come out of that. And hurrah, we've done it to every single sample in that mute group. That is honestly going to save me so much time, because I was pretty much going through every sample every time I chopped up and added an envelope. So yeah, that's going to be a huge time saver for me in my workflow. And I know a lot of you guys also wanted that as well. So really, really glad to see that in the updates. That's probably one of my favorite updates, to be honest. Okay, another quick one, which is actually really useful, is if you've got bus 3 and bus 4 with effects on. So here I've got 303 vinyl sim and equalizer. You can now temporarily take those off very easily without having to dive into this menu area. So I'm going to go into a pattern, and let's say we've got this pattern going. So I'm going to use a pattern for this demonstration, but basically what you do is you hold down the value dial, which is this button here. So you press it down and you press bus, and you can see now it says bus 3 and 4 on. If I press that again, it says bus 3 and 4 off. So I'm going to make sure there's no effects on bus 1 or bus 2. I'm going to start that pattern, and I'll show you the difference and how easy it is to do. So let's listen to this. So there you can see you can just hit that value dial, press bus effects, and you can toggle the effects on 304 off or on. I just think that's super handy when you're making beats, so you can listen to your dry signal, and then you can put bus 3 and 4 on and see if it's adding the right sound that you want and go in and tweak, etc. So I really like that feature, and I think it's much better than having to dive into the menu like this and go all the way to the top and turn it off like that. You can now just really easily mute it using value and bus effects. Super handy, I really like that. Just before I move on to the next point, guys, don't forget you can support what I'm doing here. It does take a lot of time and effort to put these videos together, so if you could check out spvids.com, where I've got drum packs where you can purchase, and I've got a Teespring store as well where I sell t-shirts. All the ways you can support me are in the description below, so please have a look, and if you can spare some of your spare change, that would be very much appreciated. Okay, a quick one to note is that skip back has now been extended and is 40 seconds long. So if you're a skip back fan, I know a lot of you out there have been using this a lot. I don't tend to use skip back that much. I've found with this unit that I've really locked myself into the pattern sequencer with this device. I just find that now that's my workflow. I kind of sample in, go straight into pattern sequencer. But if you are one of those people that likes using skip back, you've now got 40 seconds worth of sampling time, so even more time. It's really good that they're squeezing that out. And hopefully in the future, yeah, we can get that even longer, because that is super handy. It's like a built-in little recorder. If you don't know anything about skip back, I think I have done a video about it. I'm not sure, actually. I might not have done. But if I have, I'll leave a link to it in the top right-hand corner so you can see exactly what it does. But basically, it's just constantly recording everything that's going on in your device in the background. And if you, for example, played something that you liked the sound of, but you forgot to record it, or you weren't resampling, so something like this. That's obviously very hypothetical, but if I go into skip back now and press subpad, that was recording it for me, and then you can then save that onto a pad if you wanted to. So the fact that that's now 40 seconds is just another improvement, and that's really good to see as well. Okay, so the last update, and this is the biggest update, guys. This is absolutely insane. We now have a step sequencer on the SP. This is the first time I've ever seen one on an SP. It's absolutely amazing, and it's pretty easy to use as well. I will actually do a full video about this, of how to use it, etc., because there's a lot to it, but I thought I'd just show you a quick example. So what I'll do is just go into here. So I'm going to hit record. I'm going to choose pad 5, and then I'm going to hit remain. And you can toggle between real time and TR recording, step recording basically. And you can set the length here. Shuffle I haven't experimented with yet, but I will do when I do my full video. The BPM's a bit high there, so let's take that down to say 88. And you press record again, and you can see now it's cycling through on the pads. Now, you have to choose your view. So here I'm only looking at the first 2 bars. If I want to go to the second 2 bars, you have to use the value wheel. And now basically what I'm going to do is use subpad to choose the sample that I want to program in. So you hold subpad, and let's say I just want to do a hi-hat. So that hi-hat sound sounds good. And now I can just tap that in. And as you can see, it's put that in. Let's go ahead and add a kick. Okay, and a snare. And just come out of that, and now we have that completely tapped in. I used the pads to put it in, which is really, really nice. It gives me the proper PO33 vibes using this. And as you can see there, it's programmed it in. And just another quick mention as well, there is now a progress bar inside the patterns sequencer, so you can see where you are up to. And when you're using a normal pattern sequencer now, there's now 16 undo options instead of 8. So they've doubled the amount of undos that you can do, which is also really, really handy as well. So say I want to do my samples over the top of that now. I'm going to hit record, choose 5, and I'm going to press remain. I just want to go to the normal real time, which you can do even though I used the step sequencer to put the drums in. I'm going to set the strength to 100, just 100% quantize. And let's just do a little 2-bar jam here. And I'll just turn that down so I can talk over the top, but you can see here on the left hand side now, we now have those 16 different pots or banks for undoing. So if I want to go ahead and do some undoing and undo all that I've just programmed in, for example, I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to use pattern select. And I've undone everything there that I just put in. And you can hear there that all the samples have now gone, which is absolutely amazing. So if I go ahead and do 16 for you guys, just to show you how this can work. And there we go, you can undo up to 16 things as well. And a step sequencer, guys, that's absolutely incredible. I will do a full video about the step sequencer because there's obviously a lot more to explain about it than I just have there. But really, really exciting. And there's loads of other updates as well included in this package. I will eventually get to covering all of them, but I think they're the main ones which I'm super hyped about. So again, Roland are doing some really good work on this device, guys. I think it's amazing to see that they're listening to the audience and actually adding the features that we want to see. Step Sequencer 1 is huge in my opinion. The envelopes on mute groups is massive as well. New effects, which hopefully is paving the way for even more because we've got so many blank spaces there to fill in. So hopefully there's loads of new effects coming as well. So yeah, just all in all, just super exciting and really, really good to get hold of this update early. So thanks to Roland for that. So thanks very much for joining me for this video, guys. I hope it was useful. I'm sure you've all got a ton of questions, but please just be patient because I'm going to be getting updates out about these very quickly, hopefully. And you'll have more of an understanding then when those videos come out, particularly the step sequencer. I'm going to do a full video making a full beat with that. So stick around, subscribe if you're not subscribed, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I'll be back with more content soon, guys. That was version 2.0 on the SP404 Mark II, and yeah, I'm sure you guys will all be rocking that soon as well. Stay safe and keep making beats. Peace!